The Wisconsin Badgers wrapped up their home schedule last weekend by sweeping 9th-ranked Arizona State 7-6 and 6-2. 3 wins in the last 4 games for the Badgers, who wrap up the regular season this weekend at Ohio State. I'm Brian Posick, and head coach Tony Granato joins us next on the Badger Hockey Digest. Alumni weekend last weekend, senior weekend last weekend. Wisconsin sweeps 9th-ranked Arizona State, and a wild game on Friday, and your club played really well on Saturday, too. That's encouraging with 2 games left in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Duluth weekend, start the season, the first home series, and then the last home series, obviously, just this weekend. Those were our 2 best series as far as entertaining hockey and finding ways to win against 2 tough opponents. So to go, into our last regular season weekend, this weekend at Ohio State, and then knowing playoffs are right behind it, we feel good about ourselves. We were able to score 13 goals against a team that needed those wins or a win to try to get into the tournament. Now they get to sit here and wait and hope. Now they're hoping for us to beat all these teams to allow them to get a tournament bid. So, so for us, it was we did it the right way. We went after them. Got tons of goals. Power play scored some big goals for us. We got some big block shots. We got some big saves. Saturday's game. So like I said, I think we feel really good about our team, and this is the time you got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So big weekend coming up at Ohio State. Try to put our same foot forward. Is that what you say?
Yeah, skates forward. We
could do that. We're going to skate forward.
Yeah,
this weekend.
North and south. A lot of people scored this past weekend. Roman Ashawn had 4 goals, 6 points. He was the NCAA's Player of the Week and the #1 star in the Big Ten. We've talked about him. You were telling me you almost didn't play him this past weekend.
No, that's true. And he's banged up from how hard he's played all year, and going into this weekend, there's two ways to look at it. One, do we kind of use this one to kind of rest the guys that need a little rest before playoffs? He would be one of the ones that would be at the top of that list with how hard he's played all year. Or 2, do we play this one like a playoff game and try to get our mindset in that way? And that's obviously the way we chose to go. And for sure enough, every time we needed a big play, big hit, big goal, the guy that's been there all year for us did it again. And it just shows his character. It shows his heart and how hard he plays all the time. To be able to go out there and perform like that in 2 games like that for us, he certainly deserves the star. Number one player of the week in college hockey.
Definitely.
He was sensational.
Yes, and Senior Max Zimmer potted a couple of goals on senior night on Saturday in the 6-2 win over the Sun Devils. Let's take 2 minutes with Max Zimmer. Well, Max, last weekend, among other things, there were over 100 alumni back in town. So what was that like? I mean, you know quite a bit about this program and the history of it, but then to see and meet and feel the passion of those alums, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It just shows, how the Badgers are one big family, and, I don't think there's a whole lot of other schools around the country that can say they have, 140-plus alumni coming in for one weekend. A couple of the guys from the 2000 team were down in the little hallway there, cheering us on before the second period on Saturday, and that's a pretty cool thing to experience.
Yeah, they weren't only cheering you on; they were shoving you and punching you, trying to get you guys fired up, weren't they?
I think they wanted us to throw a couple more hits around, but yeah, it definitely got us going.
Yeah, it was also senior weekend, and it was special for you and for Johan and for Jack Barry as well. Jack's selflessness to allow Johan to get the start in goal on Saturday, his first collegiate start. What was that? I mean, you've known both of those guys. All 3 of you have known each other for a long time. What was that like? What was going through your mind when you did that?
It's just a perfect example of the type of person he is. He's very selfless. He's one of the best guys, best teammates I've ever been around. That goes for Johan too. I've been here 4 years now, and we'll get pucks and stuff given out after the games, and Johan got one, and he got a standing ovation from the guys, and I think that was probably the first time I've seen that. And, it was just really cool to see. The guy puts in so much work every day, and for him to get recognized a little bit was pretty cool.
Yeah, Johan Blomqvist got the start and the save on Saturday, which was pretty cool. And Max Zimmer on senior night pots a couple of goals. You've been on fire here, but to score in your final game at the Kohl Center twice, that must have been special.
Yeah, it was awesome. Tony was trying to get me out there to get a third one, but you know, I'm happy the way things turned out, and you know, to get a 6-2 win, you know, on senior night at home, you know, it just capped off a great weekend.
The Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through thedirectorscup.com, USA Today, or L Directors Cup on Twitter. Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
We've talked a lot about how young your team is, now no longer freshmen on the club with how deep we are into the season, and only 3 seniors though, and Johan Blomqvist made the start and got the save on Saturday, which was neat. Jack Berry allowed him to do so, a selfless act by Jack, who is healthy hopefully and will get a chance this weekend in Columbus. But Max Zimmer has saved his best for last, 6 goals in the last 10 games, and you can just see that he's playing with more and more confidence.
I mean, he's persevered through so many different things through the 4 years here. He's such a great kid, such a great teammate. And there are times when he didn't play, and you know, you could see that it hurt him so much, but he said, no problem, whenever I'm called upon, I'll be ready, and that's the attitude that he's had the whole way through. And you know, we always knew he had offensive ability, and we always knew, you know, that he was so close to, you know, kind of finding a way to get a little bit of a role like he's on now, but it's finally happened. And you know, for us as coaches and for the rest of our team to see him step up, basically play top line minutes. He's played, you know, in key situations. He's playing on the top power play unit. To be able to produce at this point of the year is really helpful. And he's our only senior skater. Obviously, we got the 2 goalies that are seniors. We need somebody at this point that's been through it and then kind of sees, okay, I only got a few games left here. I want to make the most of it. I think it's been contagious on what he's done as far as showing his teammates what we have to do on the stretch.
Sure. Last week in the Big Ten's regular season, Penn State's idle in first place. Minnesota and Ohio State tied for second. The Gophers are home this weekend against Michigan. Notre Dame's in the mix, home against Michigan State. Wisconsin's at Ohio State. We don't know where the Badgers are going to end up in the first round of the playoffs, but you're taking on a team that's battling for a conference championship, and they're the defending champs. It's going to be a tough series.
It would be a great series. It's perfect. It would be, if we had to build up a schedule and kind of lay it out the way the last 3 weeks have gone for us, that's what we want. We had Penn State that was trying to win the Big Ten title. We had them in. We tried to knock them down a notch. We were able to split with them. I thought we played well enough to potentially, you know, sweep them, but we got a split. And then this week, Ohio State, we just talked about, you know, we're trying to knock them out of the tournament. And then this week, we're trying to prevent Ohio State from either making the tournament or winning the Big Ten. So when you head into playoffs, you want games like this on your schedule. You want to play against teams that are big and physical and compete and older and more mature from the standpoint that they've been through this experience, you know, multiple times with the you know, the amount of seniors and juniors they have in their lineup. So this is a great test for us, and I love the way our younger players have played against the older players the past few weeks. I think, you know, the difference on maturity from the start of the year to where we are now, it's come a long way for us, and I think we're comfortable going after, you know, those type of teams the way we have the past few weeks. It's what we're going to have to do in playoffs.
Yeah, and speaking of the young guys, Cole Caulfield leads the Big Ten in scoring. Alex Turcotte was the number 3 star in the Big Ten this past weekend, so Wisconsin's putting the puck away, and we'll see if they can do it against Ohio State. So the Badgers and the Buckeyes Friday and Saturday night. Both games are on BTN. Face-off Friday at 5 o'clock, Saturday at 7 o'clock Central. Both games with me and Paul Capobianco on the Badger Sports Network. For Tony Granato and Jay Williams, I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.